Hello everyone! In this video, I'll show the process of creating a grisaille using two colors. I will need gray and a shade of red, Madder Lake Deep. By mixing these two colors, the gray shade will become deeper with a violet undertone. For the first step, I take a Phonics brush size 2 and mix the two paints on my palette. I need to get a uniform gray color. Next, I start filling in the flower's petals with color using my brush. With smooth hand movement, I cover the drawing with gray. I try to make the layer as transparent and light as possible. I wipe off excess paint with a paper napkin and, if necessary, I remove extra paint from the drawing itself using the brush. Similarly, I remove excess paint from the second petal. The layer should be barely visible and transparent. Then I take a Phonics brush size 0 and darken certain parts of the flower and the edge of the drawing. I paint the farthest petal with an almost invisible layer. For this, the brush should hold more water than paint. Usually, the farthest objects are drawn with the lighter strokes. I remove as much paint as possible so that only a minimal amount remains of the distant petal. Grisaille in watercolor is a technique where an artist creates an image entirely in shades of gray or another nature color to establish values before adding color or as a standalone monochromic piece. It originates from classical painting, where it was used to simulate sculpture or as an underpainting layer in oil painting. A small blotch formed on my brush, but that's not a problem since it can be washed off with water. If unexpected surprise sometimes happen in watercolor, don't be afraid of them because everything can be fixed. Just keep working. Grisaille relies on varying tones of gray to define light and shadow, making it a useful exercise for artists to study from without the distraction of color. The technique can be performed in different mediums, including oil, acrylic, watercolor, and even drawing materials like charcoal. I also mix two colors on the palette and shade the other petals of the flower, layer by layer. I run the tip of the brush from the center of the flower to the edge of the drawing, trying not to go beyond the contour. If there is too much water on the brush, I wipe it off with a paper napkin. Improves understanding of tonal values. Simplifies the painting process, focusing on form over color. Useful for planning color compositions before adding glazes. Next, I pull the color from the edge of the drawing toward the center of the flower so that the color spreads according to the shape and the brush movement reflects each curve of the petal. Now, I move to another section of the drawing and continue all brush movements using the same principle. Then, I take a Phonics brush number 4, mix gray and Madder Lake Deep on the palette and begin working on the flower stems with the tip of the brush. I try to use a more saturated shade since the stems have a denser color. I also go over the shadowed areas of the flower. At this stage, the most important thing is to work very carefully with the tip of the brush along the outline of the drawing. Adjust the paint and monitor the density of the tone. We create a tonal gradient from light to dark. The darkest areas are the center of the flower and the stems. Grisaille is a painting technique that involves creating an image entirely in shades of gray or another natural monochrome, often to mimic the appearance of sculpture or as an ardent painting for later color application. The core principle of Grisaille lies in value control, the careful manipulation of light and shadow to define from without relying on color. By carefully modulating values, an artist can create a sense of volume, space, and light direction, making the painting appear sculptural. The primary goal of Grisaille is to render object, This is achieved through chiaroscuro, the strong contrast between light and dark. By emphasizing highlights, midtones, and shadows, an artist can create the illusion of depth. The brightest areas where light directly hits the subject. This should be carefully placed to guide the viewer's eyes. The darkest areas, which define the form and add depth. Artists must carefully control shadow placement to maintain realism. One of the defining characteristics of Grisaille is its ability to mimic sculpture. Because it removes color, the viewer's focus shifts to shape, contour, and texture, making the image appear like a relief carving or classical sculpture. In the 18th and 19th centuries, grisaille was used in decorative arts, especially in neoclassic interiors, where monochrome murals and ceiling paintings imitate bas-relief. Grisaille remains relevant today in both traditional and digital art. It is commonly used in concept art and illustration as a main step before applying color. In modern painting, artists sometimes use grisaille as a stylistic choice, emphasizing form and light rather than color.